Well, what's up, guys? Welcome back to definitely my live streams. This is just a Unicrop live stream for the 3 hours. I'm thinking just playing some Minecraft on my PlayStation, maybe some GTA 5, maybe some Police Simulator. I don't know. This is just a Unicrop live stream. So yeah, that's my nice TV with my PlayStation. My PlayStation controller is actually charging right now. So yeah. Oh, and also I do have a fireplace, so I can turn that on. So yeah, I still have a whole entire night of work ahead of me, even though that I'm sick. I'm going to have this option, then just a whole entire 4 hours of recording YouTube videos, or at least 4 hours, max 6 hours. Then we're going to have a chill live stream. Now, I'm planning on having that live stream for 3 hours, and I'm planning on for the first hour, I'm planning on listening to music. For the so from 1 minute to 1 hour, I'm going to listen to music. From 1 hour to 2 hours, I'm going to play video games while I have my fireplace on. Then from 2 hours to 3 hours, I'm just going to go into onto my bed, which is a couch right now, and I'm just going to rest. So yeah, so this is just preparing before I have to do those live streams and videos. So yeah. And also, I, I might, after this live stream, I might ask Google, is removing water from the L help you when you're sick? Because I do have a thing over there that removes water from the L. So I'm just going to ask Google if that's helpful when you're sick. So yeah. So yeah, I do have orange juice over there. So this this is just preparing before I had to do 5 hours of recording YouTube videos. Then my chill live stream is obviously just chilling around. After I did 5 hours of work, no, technically 8 hours of work because this live stream is gonna be 3 hours and 5 plus 3 equals 8. Uh, so that chill live stream would be in between that. So in between filming 5 hours of content and having my 1 year of Sebastian Storm live stream and also filming that video. So yeah, then that's 3 live streams. And I'm supposed to only have 6 until I'm officially done with live streaming. So basically, I already did one of them. So this is the second one. Then my chill live stream and 1 year of Sebastian Storms is 2 of them, and 2 plus 2 equals 4. Then I will only have 2 left. So yeah, or at least I think. Good night. Okay. So basically, I accidentally installed the wrong game onto my PlayStation account. Now, I still played it, but once you want achievements, you can't delete it. So, like, I can't delete a game that I did on achievements, but I can't delete that. So, I could just go in hell and just either sign out of it and like sign out of this account and create a new account and have that account as like a like this account that I'm currently on as like a account that I just don't use anymore, or I could just restart my PlayStation. So if you go down here to the initialization, you can initialize your PlayStation. So my PS4, you could even do it quickly, which you quickly delete data from system storage and initialize the PS4. This method may allow third parties to retrieve the data by using specialized tools or completely delete data from system storage and initialize the PS4. This method takes several hours. So if I do that right now, it would take this option and also my 5 hours of recording YouTube videos, which 4 of those hours are going to be reaction content. 3 of those 4 hours are going to be for a Rage Halo. So, yeah, I could do that, but then I would have to install from Just Cause 4, Call of Duty War 2, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered, Madden 24, Just Cause 3, GTA 5, Police Simulator, War Thunder, and Minecraft, and a few other games. That's also on level 50 on achievements. But, a game that I found out that I could earn a bunch of achievements, which I already earned 23 achievements in, is Police Simulator. So I could just get all of those, and I only have 2 ones to get left. Just a fly report, 40 spears over multiple shifts, and a single corral. That would be silver, and same thing, but for 100, and that's gold. Then I would have platinum. So this game would probably only give me like 30 achievements, but also that would probably give me like 10 levels of the trophy thing. But then I would have to replay GTA 5. But if I replay GTA 5, I have a whole entire year left basically. Then I could just replay GTA 5. And also Just Cause 3 and Just Cause 4, which I really didn't get that much in. So the only games that I would really install at the beginning would be Call of Duty War 2, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered, Police Simulator War Thunder, and Minecraft, and obviously GTA 5. So, but also I could just sign out on my account here. Just like log out of PS4, delete that account, and I would have to create a new account. Damn it. And uh I already used both of my emails on this computer. And honestly, I won't use my school computer, but I already used my main email and also my second email on this computer. Now I could just create a whole entire new account, have a whole entire new email, and just put it in there, and just receive updates on my new email, or new Google account. And all that is just because of one game that I accidentally installed. So the two main games that I would install at the start of it would be Grand Theft Auto 5 and Police Simulator. Now this is why I would have that chill live stream because of this. So probably after this live stream, I'll definitely create a new Google account, get all that done, record that like 5 hours of content. Then I'll just have to chill live stream because of how much I've already done. One live stream, create a whole entire new Google account, a whole entire new PlayStation account, and also 5 hours of YouTube content. That's at least like 5 hours of the 5 hours of YouTube content. Plus also this live stream, so 3 hours, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then probably new Google account and new PlayStation account for an hour because then I would just have to add in all the games and add in my YouTube channel and add in my Spotify account and just all of this stuff. So that's another hour. So probably like 9 hours So obviously I would have to chill last stream by listen to music, rest, and look at my fireplace and all that. So I need a full-time night worth of stuff. But I can start a whole entire new thing in Minecraft, a whole entire new world for my second channel. So then I could reach 100 days and get the 100 days past the time achievements in Minecraft. So yeah. So most likely just from Police Simulator, Grand Theft Auto 5, and Minecraft, I feel like I would be able to reach up to the level 50 again, just off 3 games, which level 50 is like 138 achievements. But since there's like 30 achievements in Police Simulator, at least 40 achievements in Grand Theft Auto 5, so that's 70. Then Minecraft, that's like 100. So 170 achievements if I get all the achievements, which some of the Minecraft achievements are in like Java and the educational edition. So yeah. But I have to have my PlayStation battery at full because of the probably 1 hour it would probably use like at least one ball, so I'm going to have it at full just because of of how much I have to do. So yeah. Oh, and also just my fireplace. So basically, I would definitely have to charge like a PlayStation controller because I have to do that 1 hour, which would probably be like one bar since I have to like sign out of this account and like add in a bunch of details and school and all that. Then I have to load into YouTube, and I have this channel on here that has like Minecraft Drift Away Ambience is the channel's name. So I would definitely have that playing in the background while I film my YouTube, like 5 hours of YouTube content. So for PlayStation, it's still on 3 bars somehow after signing out of my account and doing all that. That would definitely drain the ball because I have to scroll down to like the last 100 subscriptions on my thing on my YouTube channel, and I have like 600. Then I have to choose the video, and then I have to do. Then I have to film 5 hours worth of content. Then also I still would have to start my chill live stream. Listen to like in about an hour worth of music. Then I also have to still turn on my thing. My fireplace, and still would probably have to have that for an hour, and I would probably talk for 30 minutes. So yeah. So it would probably either my PlayStation battery would either be on 2 bars, 1 bar, or completely dead after a whole entire night's worth of work. Since uh, technically, it will probably only take like 10 minutes left to charge my whole entire PlayStation battery. So from 10 p.m. to like at least 8 a.m. and at most 10 a.m. So yeah, that's a whole entire like 12 hours worth of just using the control and letting it sit there and just all the stuff. Since also I still would have to load into Grand Theft Auto 5, complete the first 2 missions at least, load into Police Simulator, do at least like 5 shifts, and also load into Minecraft and do like one and play like at least 30 minutes of Minecraft, 1 hour of Minecraft. So I have a whole entire night ahead of me. So yeah. one way that I use my PlayStation controller's battery, if it's not dead, I just go YouTube Shorts on my PlayStation, which I could do for the last hour in my chill live stream, or at least watch 30 minutes of shorts and 30 minutes of long-form content. So yeah, that's one way to drain the battery on your PlayStation controller if you want to. So yeah. This needs to get cold, so I'm going to go put it in the fridge. So yeah. So I just put it in the fridge. I have 3 7 Ups in there. So I'm just going to drink those 3 7 Ups. Then I'm going to drink that orange juice. So yeah. And also, I still want to get up to level 50 or pass it before my uncle comes. He comes at the end of June, I think, which right now it's like May 10th at 10 p.m. So by the end, after I do this whole time worth of content, and also after all this, I'm going to take a shower. So that's at least 11 a.m. And also, I still had to eat lunch. So if let's say that I finish all this at 11:30 a.m. So like shower and all this content, I go to eat lunch, which will probably take 30 minutes to an hour. No, at most 1 hour, 30 minutes. 30 minutes of cooking the actual food and 1 hour of eating. So yeah.
Litter Robot has now solved the litter box problem for over 1 million pet parents around the world.
So, tell me, man, how y'all end up meeting?
Michael introduced us.
Me and Frank didn't exactly travel in similar circles.
You better take off.
Really? Shit, I'm good. I ain't Bill.
What am I detecting? Some sort of son I never had bullshit here, Mikey? Huh? Hey, listen. If you want to replace some father figure, you can do a lot better than this bat snake. All right? This fucker would eat his own kids.
Like I said, Franklin, deranged. Better grab a head start.
Nice to meet you, homie.
Yeah, whatever.
Attracting the attention of their air unit. You got a bogey coming at you, Franklin.
I thought I had the easy job.
So long. Hey, shut this down, homie. Nice one, kid. Ha ha! In bed with the bureau and the new running buddy.
Yeah, he's more of a protege.
Yeah, what, you gonna teach him to be old before his time?
Dare to never grow up.
That seems like a good kid.
I say that, you say that. I say become a doctor. You say become a patient. I say, who is that?
Hello, Missy. Wow, Franklin. You never told me that you had a sister.
I'm Denise, Franklin's housemate.
And aunt, my mother's old dried up ass.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up! Here, darling. Why don't you go get yourself something nice, okay?
You. Is it $7?
I said something nice, not expensive. You want to be a greedy fucking cow? Huh? No. Now get the fuck out of here, all right?
You men are all the same.
Man, what the fuck you doing here?
Here with the boys.
What?
I'm fucking new in town. I'm making friends, all right? Now let's party.
Look, I had plans on getting some rest until this clown and my aunt came and fucked that up. My nigga, I just came over here and hollered at you about the little thing. Man, I said I'm tired, dog.
A fucking thing. I love things. I'm the king of things.
I ain't talking to you, homie.
Hey, let's go do something about the thing, okay?
What thing? I'm talking about the little stretch thing, man.
Fucking beautiful. Perfect. It's a gangbang. Let's go. Come on.
Who is this? Man, what is nigga? Man, just come on.
January 26th, 2020 was the day everything seemed to change for the worse. It also happened to be my 15th birthday. I can't seem to remember much about the day other than the fact that I was scrambling to finish my science fair project for school. And oh yeah, one of my childhood heroes died in a helicopter crash with his daughter. I can still feel the shock of my brother texting me RIP Kobe and the subsequent Google search confirming the news. My family was never big on birthday celebrations, so I didn't have a big party to look forward to, spending much of the day coming to grips with his passing. It was the first time a celebrity death seemed to have any real impact on my emotional state. I wasn't immediately overwhelmed by grief or sadness. Honestly, after I got the news, everything just felt off. I felt a deep pit in my stomach that persisted for the rest of the day, and I had trouble focusing on my science project. Unfortunately, this feeling did not subside, and the coming week, I was filled with a similar strange pit in my stomach, as well as a more bleak outlook on life. The first semester of 9th grade, I had a blast. Starting high school, making friends, it was a time of much optimism. But after Kobe passed, it felt like the joy in the world went with him. A month later, we all know what happened. All of a sudden, we were stuck inside. I'd made great strides to socialize and make friends my freshman year, and now the only communication I could have with them was over Discord. The rest of 2020 and 2021 ended up being the worst time of my life. Not because I remember it as particularly bad, but because I can hardly remember it at all. I can't recall any significant memories from that time of my life other than Zoom classes and watching movies in my bedroom. The isolation got to me bad. I know this because of the media I consumed, BoJack Horseman, Blue is the Warmest Color, Manchester by the Sea, Requiem for a Dream, Black Swan, Perfect Blue, Archie's Final Project. All of these are great pieces of art, but were terrible picks for an isolated high schooler who was still trying to figure out life. Eventually, we got back to the outside world.
Oz for the facts. Classic first-timers. They don't know that nearly half of all used cars have been in an accident.
A door slams in another room, shaking the house around Joan and Martin Pistorius. Martin, in a coma since he was 12, sits still in his wheelchair, his eyes aimlessly listing across the now silent room. His mother wrings her hands, trying to choke back waves of grief and fear. The light seems to dim around her, as darkness, cold and lonely, creeps closer and closer toward her. Between sobs, she looks up at Martin, their gazes meeting. "You must die," she says in a low, pleading voice. "You have to die." Like a lightning strike, her words pierce Martin's heart, but they shouldn't. The doctors assured them that he was gone, that the boy sitting in the wheelchair wasn't their son anymore. But no, he can hear her every word, clear as thunder. This is the story of Martin Pistorius, the ghost boy who disappeared into a waking coma with no way to tell anyone that he was back. How could you convince someone you were awake if the only thing you can move is your eyes? How did people look at him every day for 12 years and never see that he was always awake? On New Year's Eve, 1975, a baby is born in a South African hospital. Martin lets out a wailing cry, and tears well up in his parents' eyes as they behold their firstborn son. A fire of love lit in their hearts. By age 12, Martin was a natural whiz with electronics and circuitry. He constructed an alarm system from his room to ensure his younger brother and sister, David and Kim, didn't interfere with his Lego. He built a reset button for his parents' PC, and his affinity for electrical engineering was so apparent and comprehensive that his mother, Joan, even allowed him to repair a wall plug socket. But then, one day in January 1988, Martin came home from school with a sore throat and never returned to classes. Little by little, he stopped eating, started sleeping all day long, and began struggling to walk through growing pain. As he stopped using his body, it began to weaken, and as his body weakened, so too did his mind. Doctors weren't able to diagnose the cause. Joan quit her job as a radiographer to take care of him at home when he wasn't being tested in hospital, while his father, Rodney, started working longer and longer hours at his mechanical engineer job that he was barely home enough to see any of his children. So it was decided that Martin would stay at a care home during the day and come home each night at 8. And there, Martin stayed as his condition worsened and then stabilized into what everyone could see, a waking coma. Facts went first. Then he started losing grasp on routines like watering a bonsai tree he had been caring for. And then faces disappeared. Joan gave him a frame of family photos to remember who was who and played a video of his father every day, hoping that some familiarity would help him hold on to a piece of himself. Martin's fingers and toes curled into gnarled claws as he slipped into a comatose state. He wasn't able to eat or drink on his own, so his parents would wake him up to spoon-feed him his meals, and he would swallow instinctively. Medical staff ran tests of all kinds, but couldn't find anything wrong with him. So perhaps, they thought, it might be psychosomatic, that it was all in his head. But as Martin began to dehydrate in a psychiatric unit, and no amount of pleading was able to coax him to drink, they knew that this was something unique, something they'd never seen before. Martin had some kind of degenerative neurological disorder. He was treated for tuberculosis and cryptococcal meningitis, but doctors were never certain as to what was causing Martin's illness. And without knowing what caused it, they couldn't treat it. The only thing anyone could do was to maintain his basic quality of life and wait for him to die. Nothing could stop what was to come. Martin hated hospitals and care homes. He just wanted to be home with his family. But by then, his body was so weak that it was a Herculean effort just to turn his head. His speech deteriorated, and after a year in and out of hospitals, with doctors poking and prodding his body to find just a shred of a clue that might lead them to a treatment, he spoke his last words to his mother. Went home. And then he woke up. As Martin's mind rose back to the surface, he experienced something of a second selfhood. He moved from nothing into a mind, and finally into a body. But whose body? He'd forgotten what it was like to be a mind in something. He looked down at his own feet and realized that they were his own. His sense of time was hazy, and his consciousness slipped in and out of clarity. Nelson Mandela swearing in as first president of South Africa in 1994 appears blurred in his memory, but Princess Diana's death in 1997 pierces through the fog. In some ways, being awake was worse than being nothing. Martin's mind was back, but his body still suffered from the illness that had brought him to such dire straits. He still couldn't speak. He could move his eyes, but shifting his head to look at anything was a Herculean effort. Looking at him, you'd see the same young man, laying wordlessly in the same hospital bed as he laid in the day before. Even as Rodney dressed and undressed him, Martin wanted to reach out and say that he was back. But as each day passed and his father continued to fail to see him, Martin resigned himself to his own waking prison. He would never escape. Martin's days were spent laying in the care home, watching as time passed by, observing the length of the shadows in the room, waiting for nurses and caretakers to come see him, slogging through reruns of Barney left on idle on the little TV in the corner of his room. Tormented by the isolation and with nothing to stimulate him other than the meaningless dribble of children's television, he retreated into his imagination. His mind became a palace where he could escape. He ventured into worlds of ants crawling across the floor, warring against other tribes, the only witness to a world of magic inside his own mind. His palace protected him from more than just the torment of Barney the Purple Dinosaur, but the torment he suffered at the hands of his caregivers as well. You think you can get out of eating just by puking up? A nurse berates Martin. She ignored his gag reflex, shoving a spoonful of food and vomit back into his mouth. He swallows, praying that she won't do it again. This he endured, and worse. When you're all alone, with no way to communicate, there's no one to advocate for your body autonomy, for your rights. Through all of it, he just prayed that someone, anyone, would see him. And then, she saw him. Martin suffered from what we've come to call locked-in syndrome, or LIS. It's like your mind is locked inside of your body, as if it's on house arrest. You can look out the windows, but no one can see you inside. Martin's illness would have been defined as classical LIS, characterized by total bodily paralysis. But you're still able to blink and move your eyes vertically, but not horizontally. Your sense of hearing and cognitive functions remain intact as well. You can hear, see, and understand, but you can't move or say anything to anyone. Incomplete LIS, on the other hand, is basically the same, but you're not totally paralyzed. Take Rom Hubin, for example, who was put into a coma-like state for 23 years following a car crash which deprived his brain of oxygen for several minutes. He could still move his right hand and now communicates via a keyboard. Lastly, there's the total immobility form of LIS, defined by complete paralysis and loss of eye movement. Like in the previous forms, your cognitive function stays, but you're totally immobile. Most people with LIS, regardless of the form, aren't able to chew, swallow, speak, make facial expressions, or move anything below their eyes. That said, they can hear, think, and reason, understand what is being said to them, as well as maintain their sleep and wake cycles. What causes LIS, though? Martin's doctors told his parents that they couldn't be sure what was causing his deterioration, but generally speaking, LIS is triggered by damage to the brainstem, specifically in a part called the pons, a key neuronal pathway between cerebrum, spinal cord, and cerebellum. And when it's damaged, messages from your brain to your muscles can be disrupted, resulting in paralysis. Damage to the pons also affects areas of your brain in charge of facial expression and speech. The problem with brain stuff is that anything that affects the brain can trigger a cascade of events, causing issues in other parts of our body. While Rodney took care of him physically and constantly advocated for him, Joan, who who couldn't bear to watch her son disappear into himself, gave in to despair. In her eyes, this was her failure. If she loved him, if she tried harder, one way or another, after so many years of guilt and shame, she wasn't able to be there for him anymore. One day, after a massive fight, Rodney stormed out of the house, and Joan was left with nothing but guilt and her son, who reminded her of her deepest failure and shame. She turned to him, her eyes welling up with tears, and pleaded, "You must die. You have to die."
Everyone said I wouldn't find equality.
The words stung like hornet stings, but as Martin laid there, stewing in his mother's words, he felt a great compassion building up in his chest. He was the ghost boy, a shadow of the son that she loved and cared for, and for all she knew, he was gone, never to return. For all anyone knew, Martin had died years ago. It would be better if he had. His father wouldn't have to take care of him physically while also working long hours at his job. His mother wouldn't have to be reminded of her ghost of a son anymore. Maybe it would be better, he thought. Because no one knew what was wrong with Martin, no one could help him. But worse, no one knew that he was even there anymore. People stopped looking. That is, until she arrived. Her name was Virna, and she visited the hospital offering aromatherapy treatments. Her presence was a small gift to Martin and his fellow patients in the care home. She would also offer massage therapy, touching his catatonic limbs, soothing out knots and pushing out tension. It was a small shred of dignity that Martin hadn't been afforded until that moment. It gave him one tiny reason not to give up on life forever. If she could treat him, a man she'd never spoken to, with dignity, then maybe he was worth something. Virna was the first person to treat him like another person, not as an object of pity. Because of this, he promised himself he'd look her in the eyes. Martin's head was like a cinder block, and moving his head to make eye contact with people was a nightmare. Not just that, but since he laid in a hospital bed, he was rarely at eye level with people. So until Virna arrived, he'd given up on eye contact for people who look but never see. Virna looked at him like no one had done for a long time, and when she looked at him, she could see he was looking back. His eyes locked with hers, something she didn't think he was capable of. But when she suggested to the staff at the care home that he might be lucid, they responded with skepticism. He was considered the lowest IQ individual in a home where the only entry requirement is an directly, who agreed to have him tested to see if he was still awake inside. So early July 2001, 18.5 years after he fell into his coma, Martin's parents brought him to the Center of Augmentative and Alternative Communication at the University of Pretoria to assess his cognitive ability. Martin, who put him through tests like identifying a ball and a dog on a sheet of multiple images and identifying specific words. The problem for Martin, though, his ability to move his head was still severely limited, and pointing to things with his eyes was difficult. If he didn't get this right, if he didn't pass, then no one would see him ever again. Another speech therapist, Yasmin, as Martin's heart raced, asked him to identify the word mum. He panicked. He didn't know what the word mum looked like. He remembered the sound image, the memory of the word in his mind, but the information for written language had corroded after after 13 years of disuse. They swapped tests, giving Martin a small dial display with more images, as well as a head switch nestled between his neck and shoulder. Sheila and Yasmin explain that they'll ask for a specific image, and a pointer should move slowly across the screen, and Martin is to hit the dial whenever the cursor reaches the image in question. They begin the test, asking him to stop on a water tap. Martin watches as the pointer arcs across the display, inching around the little dial. The cursor creeps slowly toward the tap. The pointer, after what feels like eons, falls like an avalanche onto the picture of the tap. With all the strength he can muster, Martin drives all his power into his neck, wrenching his head against the switch. The cursor stops on the tap. Good, Martin, someone says. Now that it was clear that Martin was lucid, they had to come up with more robust methods of communication beyond simple eye movements and the flexing of one of his hands. Eye contact wasn't enough. He'd have to use symbols. His problem now wasn't communicating full stop, but being limited to communicating specific things. With the use of symbols, his caregivers would have to anticipate his needs. If he didn't have a symbol for a specific request or response, wouldn't be able to communicate it. Martin and his family learned more about the use of pointing and blinking at symbols and using speech-generating devices and computer programs to communicate. Shaquila recommended a device called Macaw, a black box with a grid of squares featuring different symbols and words. It's very similar to the device that Stephen Hawking used. She hits a button, and a robot voice responds,
I am tired.
I can see from the way your eyes travel that you can identify the symbols we ask you to, and you are trying to use your hand to do the same. Wouldn't you, Steve? Shaquila asked. Before he could use the Macaw, though, Martin needed to figure out how he would navigate its UI, similar to how we learn how to navigate the UIs of our smartphones. It might take him a little more practice to get the hang of it, though. Shaquila identified two different tools that Martin might be able to use. A lolly switch, which he could operate by curling his hand around the rectangular box and squeezing his fingers, and a wobble switch, a joystick-looking tool that could be activated many different ways. Martin was excited, but the box itself only carried 250 words. It was leagues better than what he was able to do before. But imagine picking only 250 words to speak with. The box was also expensive, and money had been tight ever since Martin's condition deteriorated. How could he ask his parents to spend even more on him? The devaluation of the South African currency threw another wrench in the works, and Martin needed to give up on the Macaw. Fortunately, they opted instead to use a computer and a specialized program to communicate. Martin was still worried about picking the right one, but his mother assured him that they would keep getting new programs until they found the perfect one. The two of them worked together on the program, adding in word after word. Martin, his parents, called his sister Kim over the computer. She smiled as he slowly typed out his message.
Hello, Kim. Happy Christmas.
The ghost boy was come back to life. There's a lot more to Martin's story, but today he works as a web developer and lives in the UK with his wife Joanna, who he married in 2013, and his son Sebastian, who was born healthy and happy in 2018. Martin's story isn't inspiring because recovery from illness is inspiring in and of itself. Martin is more than his illness, and he isn't a tool that able-bodied people get to use to fix.
My connection is unstable. Ugh.
Stressed out? Time to refresh your rhythm with Trident.
I say left, you say right. I say become a doctor. You say become a patient. I say, who is that?
Hello, Missy. Wow, Franklin. You never told me that you had a sister.
I'm Denise, Franklin's housemate.
GTA 5 is almost the perfect game, and I say almost because it still has some pretty big flaws, which is why I have built the definitive list of the 4 biggest mistakes Rockstar has made in GTA 5 so that we hopefully never have to deal with them again when GTA 6 is released. Dear Rockstar, we first need to start by having an honest conversation about the customization in GTA 5, because my god was it lackluster. Let me give you an example. When it comes to hairstyles, Franklin had the most options out of the 3 characters, with a dozen or so hairstyles that you could get at the barbershop. And a dozen hairstyles doesn't sound too bad until you realize what the options are. I mean, Kanye West had better taste than this. Rockstar had the nerves to tell us to get rid of Franklin's yes haircut, and that's all the options they gave us to play with? I mean, jokes aside,
the Grand Theft Auto series has captivated gamers for decades, with its sprawling open worlds and unforgettable characters. From Tommy Vercetti building an empire in Vice City to Niko Bellic chasing the American dream in Liberty City. There's no doubt that the protagonists of GTA have left their mark on the world, some more than others. But after all the heists, betrayals, and all that chaos, have you ever wondered where they are now? What happened to Claude, Tommy, CJ, and the rest of the characters after their stories came to an end? In today's video, we'll be finding out where are the GTA protagonists now, and could we expect to see one or more of these characters appear in Grand Theft Auto 6? Starting at the beginning of the 3D universe, back in 2001, we were introduced to Claude.
On May 8th, 2021, a woman named Malie Perales was driving down the Packer Drive Northeast Road alongside the Rogue River in Belmont, Michigan.
I do have to get to the bathroom, so yeah.
sorry. What happened today?
I ran very fast with my baby sister. I just didn't want to be killed.
Okay.
The boy you see here is 9-year-old Andrew Hawkinsmith. 1 hour before this footage was recorded, Andrew was living a happy life with a loving and supportive family. His parents were the owners of a local pawn shop in Danville, Kentucky, and had welcomed a new member of their family, little Naomi. Andrew was so happy to be a big brother and loved his baby sister more than anything in the world. But on September 20th, 2013, the family's life took a disturbing turn for the worse when the 9-year-old boy heard gunshots and screams.
911, where's your emergency? Come here, I'll work with you because I'm afraid.
Okay, they're coming, okay?
The year is 2013, in the quiet town of Danville, Kentucky. Andrew Hawkinsmith lives a happy life with his father, Michael, his mother, Angie, and his 13-month-old sister, Naomi. When Andrew's father first met his wife, Angie,
If you're not 100% satisfied with the quality of any Aldi product, we'll replace it and refund your money.
When you work on cars as much as I do, you learn what matters most.
What in the absolute world is going on? What in the... Nobody, while I was gone last week, visiting the West Coast, filmed some videos. That was quite a turbulent new airplane release for the Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yes, everybody, today's video, we're finally talking about the Boeing 707 by Microsoft in collaboration with Aeroplane Heaven. You can buy this now on the marketplace for $10, but the question is, should you? I mean, people are immensely mad. Just tried it. Complete flop. Do not buy this. Shamble. It's junk. Everything about it is junk. Cool. More arcade junk for quick cash grab. This plane is garbage. What the actual... Okay, yeah. People on Reddit are mad. And, well, people are also mad in the marketplace. This thing's got probably the worst rating of any Microsoft product so far. 2.7 out of 5 really isn't good. I bought this airplane, and the good thing is I'm not affiliated to Microsoft at all, so I can actually say whatever I want. But let me see, do I like this plane? We have a few liveries here. Maybe let's try the Pan Am, which is the only... okay, we have the House Cargo airline, but other than that, we have the usual fictional weird airlines here that we can try out. Alright, and so welcome to the airport of Gibraltar. We are already spawned into the runway here. That's not bad. And what in the absolute is going on here? Do I see a beacon light here in front of the airplane? Is that beacon light in front of the airplane, which is something that happens a lot with these FSX ported airplanes, you know what I mean? Alright, come on, let me get into direct sunlight. That's very odd. Why is there a light in front of the aircraft? Alright, let me go ahead and take a look into the cockpit. Now, last week I visited the Aviation Museum of Flying, and I had a close look at a 707 cockpit. This looks okay. I mean, honestly, from the start, the expectations for Microsoft were, of course,
Hello everyone, this is your Daily Dose of Internet. He just received his very first paycheck and unfortunately just learned how taxes work.
You need this.
You really don't.
Because you have to take out federal taxes.
You pay taxes for everything.
You lucky?
A few days ago, these firefighters were checking in on a gas leak that sent these manhole covers flying into the air. This person somehow thought that this baggage claim luggage belt at the airport was actually an escalator.
I'm just trying to cut sponges. And they will not. What the magic? Like, please go back into the box.
This crew chased after a whale for 3 hours because they saw that it had a rope wrapped around it. So they jumped in and managed to find.
There is a lot of gold.
We're just holding on to it for the Chinese.
No, we ever want to keep it in the United States.
Sure, take what you can carry.
I'm driving. You can jerk me off if I get bored. I'm joking. You suck me off.
We guys got for ice cream? See that shit? Fucking with that bitch's face against the glass. You see that? Yeah, you're a real stout. There's two Michael Townley living in LS. One is 83 and the other one is in kindergarten. I asked the teacher to put him on the phone just to be safe. She threatened to call the cops. I ain't no molester, Trevor.
Shut up before I molest you, all right? Now, is there anything else?
I looked through the phone directory. I did find a Michael DeSanta, about the right age, married with 2 kids.
What's his wife's name?
Amanda?
Amanda?
Yeah.
You're a genius, you moron. Come on, come here. Woo! Don't you ever not tell me things I want to know.
Sorry, Trevor.
Run, you little bastard. Get out here. We're going to Los Santos. Come in. I'll come in your ear when I get a hold of you. Are you? What are you saying?
Fucking my girl, man. It's wrong.
Oh, I gotta fuck someone. You want me to fuck you instead? Is that the problem here?
Take off your pants, cowboy. Let's fuck. You think this is funny?
Get them off!
Cousin Floyd! Come here, Trevor. Come on, it's me, Wade. Who? Me, Wade, your cousin.
Who? Your cousin! Fuck! He's come to visit you, you rude fuck. Now get up off the floor and fix me a fucking drink.
No, you wait. I heard you was off smoking meth somewhere.
No, not somewhere. Here. He's gonna smoke meth here. Give me a fucking lighter.
You can't smoke here.
Okay.
This is my girlfriend's place. She's at a business conference. You can't smoke here and you can't stay here. How's it going, cousin? It's been a while. Yeah, I ain't seen you since you was called Evelyn's bed. And that was never proved. You gotta go. Both of you. My girlfriend, she'd kill me if she knew I had guests.
That's not much of a girlfriend if you don't like your family. Now, would you get me a fucking drink? I'm not gonna ask you again.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Wait, I ain't got no booze.
Then you go out and fucking get me something. You go too. Fuck.
They are. They're chap-wearing assholes.
Wait, you little shit. Whoa. Hey, Michael fucking Townley, right? Bitch wife, 2 kids, 45. Find him.
Los Santos is a big place, Trevor. There's lots of people.
You are fucking useless. Huh? Find out who did that fucking robbery, all right? And if Michael Townley lives there, or anyone matching his description, I'm gonna kill you and your fucking cousin. Am I being clear now?
Yes, Trevor.
Thank you. Wait. Now smile. Yeah, that's better. Run over. What are you waiting for? Go over there. Get in amongst it.
Trevor!
I told you, if they catch you, I'll have you dead before the torture gets too unpleasant. I'm out.
No, don't go. Please, I beg you. If you go, his father killed me.
Why do I give a fuck?
You don't.
Can you see me, Trevor? Over by the road.
You wouldn't believe this, Ron. One of these assholes is having a seizure or something.
That's me. That's me. Don't shoot.
Gotta quit that shit, man. Yeah, I know. I take speed mostly. Look at me. Boom. Best year of my life. Yeah. I still think you sugar tits.
That's because you're fucking deranged, not because you're in good shape. Why don't you stick doing fucking crunches and feeling bad about yourself, all right, pork chop? Hey, fuck you. You know, I'm beginning to think that's exactly what you want to do. Yeah. Jesus. I just said the same fucking thing to my wife. Now go. I need to meditate. Or masturbate. Or both. Amanda, it is good to see you. I missed you. It used to be fatter. I remember nice new tits, by the way. Jimmy, you used to be thinner, but can't blame you. Who are you?
Namaste. I'm Fabian.
Good Lord. Shipment successfully delivered, Ron. Now remember, if you beat me to the airstrip, I'll butcher your carcass and wrap you in cheesecloth. It reminds me of one of those guys you see advertising pills for middle-aged men that can't get erections. Hey, I'll swing by and sign the contracts, all right? Just ignore the bodies.
Hey, Trevor, are we still gonna cook that batch?
Fuck yeah!
And my mother's old dried up ass.
Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Here, darling, why don't you go get yourself something nice? Okay?
You. This is $7.
I said something nice, not expensive. You want to be a greedy fucking cow? Huh? No. Now get the fuck out of here. All right?
You now are Now what?
Can we speed it up a little? Maybe by throwing your fat carcass over the side. Come on, dipshit. That host, man, he's like any closeted TV presenter. Bitter as fucking vinegar.
Where the fuck are they?
Hello, sir. May I please have your name? Where the fuck is Tracy Townley, huh? Tracy fucking DeSanta. Fuck, screw that. Where the fuck's Laszlo?
But the thing is, I ain't been with that many women. I don't find it easy. And Deborah, I mean, we're getting married, so.
Well, that's beautiful.
But I'm scared that she's going to leave me. I mean, this is her place, and the fornicate? Mr. Raspberry Jam.
Whoa. Whoa. Now, Mr. Raspberry Jam, he died a noble death, bringing great joy to a lonely man.
I ain't got a very big penis. So girls laugh when they look at it.
Show me.
Okay.
Show me,
No,
boy.
I don't want to.
Mine ain't nothing special, but this boy gets the job done. All right? Hey, whose dick you have to suck to get this job? Being a stevedore used to be back-breaking work. Now you're paid brain surgeon bucks to push an oversized shopping cart.
I did not fellatiate no one to get this job. There was old friends with the
say no more. You didn't fillet no one, but darling Debbie probably did. She probably enjoyed it. Whoa, what am I detecting? Some sort of son I never had bullshit here, Mikey, huh? Hey, listen, if you want to replace some Bob.
You know something that I just thought of? I have another computer then I could just have my account to it. Because I don't usually use that computer. So if I use that computer to put that account on it, I could just have that. So then I can add my PlayStation account after my battery is full on my PlayStation thing. So then I could have so then I could just immediately do my filming after this. So yeah.
New Airhead Sour Bars. They start sour. You're at work when nature calls. You make your way to the bathroom, but not without your trusty sidekick, your phone. Sitting on the toilet, scrolling away, you quickly lose track of time as 10, 20, 30 minutes pass by. Little do you know that this seemingly innocuous act has already changed your life forever. In a few moments, you will stand up for the last time in your life. We all do it. Speak for yourself. Okay, not all of us, but it is common. People use their time on the toilet for all kinds of things, not just the business at hand, like scrolling through social media, reading a book or magazine, or even just taking a break in the only place you can get some semblance of peace. But I'm sorry to tell you that this is not a good thing, and sitting for extended periods of time on the toilet can have severe consequences. The first and most common one that we will discuss are hemorrhoids. Also known as piles, this condition affects the thin veins in the anus and lower rectum. Hemorrhoids come in three main types: internal hemorrhoids, hidden inside the rectum and usually painless despite the potential for bleeding; external hemorrhoids, which occur under the skin around the rectum and can cause discomfort, itching, and pain; and thrombosed hemorrhoids, which is the most severe of the three and happens when blood clots form in an external hemorrhoid. This situation leads to severe pain, swelling, and a hard discolored lung that often requires immediate medical intervention. Well-being. To find out how sitting on the toilet for too long can cause hemorrhoids, we can go to Professor Howard Issa from Bingham University in Nigeria, who explains that because the toilet seat is cut out, the rectum is lower than the rest of the backside. Gravity takes over, and blood starts to pool and clot in those veins. But it's also important to note that if things are taking longer than you'd like, and if your instinct is to just push to finish the job, don't. Adding any straining would set in motion the process of developing hemorrhoids, added Professor Issa. He also highlights that the sitting position might be a contributing factor to various bowel diseases, including appendicitis, polyps, and even colon cancer, with studies showing that Western countries have much higher rates of these conditions. You might in fact notice while traveling that squat toilets are more common in the rest of the world. In fact, a majority of the world population uses squat toilets, which allows a more natural posture for defecation, and not much else while you go to the loo. Experts note that your time spent on the porcelain throne should ideally not exceed 10 minutes, though some even say shorter. The point is to not spend more time than needed for your body to finish the job. Consider this sobering story shared by Propita106 on Reddit. A family member habitually spent over 30 minutes at a time on the toilet. The excessive sitting led to 12 externalized hemorrhoids developing on their rear end, requiring a hemorrhoidectomy. The recovery was excruciating, to the point where the individual dreaded the very thought of having to go number 2 due to the intense post-operative pain. Or Redditor the Lone Hoot, who noticed blood in their stool. The sight was alarming enough to cause them to seek medical attention and get a colonoscopy. The result? Internal hemorrhoids. The Lone Hoot wrote, "My doctor asked if I read on the toilet. I said yes. He said, don't do that anymore." A few weeks after listening to the doctor's advice, the issue went away, and the Redditor was left with an important PSA. Don't read on the toilet. Take a dump and be done with it. It's important not to write off rectal bleeding as just hemorrhoids, since it could indicate something more serious. However, aside from limiting your toilet sitting time, also try to keep to a diet that is rich in fiber and drink plenty of water in order to prevent hemorrhoids. You can also lower your risk of hemorrhoids by subscribing to this channel. Or at least I could say that if I had any research to back up this claim, but alas, I do not. What I can confidently tell you is that just your one sub helps out our channel a ton. So if you're enjoying this video, click the button. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you for your support. But there are far worse things than hemorrhoids that can be caused from sitting on the toilet just a little too long. February 2018, in Southeast China, a man was spending time playing games on his phone while trying to do his business. But after 30 minutes had passed, he experienced something out of a nightmare. A rectal prolapse, a condition where the rectum, the lower part of the colon, falls from its normal position within the body and protrudes out. In this case, it was a ball-shaped lump of his intestine measuring 6.3 inches in diameter. He rushed to the hospital, where surgeons were able to successfully remove the lump. Dr. Sudan, the gastrointestinal doctor who performed the surgery, noted that the patient has had rectal prolapses since he was 4 years old, but the bulge was able to retract in the past. They also revealed that the prolonged time spent sitting on the toilet led to the incident, and that if the condition was not treated in time, the situation could have become even worse. But too much push in the tush isn't the only mishap that could happen in the loo. Redditor dropped a thrice, succumbed to exhaustion after being awake for about 30 hours. They had fallen asleep on the toilet after a long boot camp session, only to wake up abruptly. With no sense of time and in a disoriented state, tried to stand up too quickly when their legs, deprived of circulation from the prolonged sitting, failed. The soldier tumbled forward, exiting the stall with pants still around their ankles, and after a few moments of struggling, managed to regain enough blood flow to their legs to stand and rectify the situation. Fortunately for dropping thrice, the bathroom was empty, sparing them from embarrassment right before boot camp graduation. Another Redditor decided to use the bathroom after returning home from work and took the opportunity to browse Reddit on his phone. He spent about 10 minutes on the toilet with his elbows resting on his thighs. Upon finishing and attempting to stand, he discovered he had lost all sensation in his lower legs. This led to him toppling straight into his shower door, breaking it and hitting his head against the wall in the process. The aftermath included a cut on his forehead, a broken shower door, and a girlfriend who found the entire episode hilarious.
Bro, I need my filter changed. It is full of waste.
Yeah, let's not go there right now, Howard. Unfortunately, not everyone is lucky enough to be able to laugh off such an incident. April 2014, 24-year-old Zhang Tongcheng from Chongqing, China, was working as an apprentice at a barbershop when he went to the bathroom to relieve himself. And, like many of us do, he took his smartphone with him to pass the time. But when he didn't return after 30 minutes, and with a customer waiting for their turn, his younger brother, who also worked there, went to check up on him and discovered him vomiting with the smartphone on the floor beside him with a broken screen. Zhang was rushed to the hospital, where doctors revealed the worst. The man had become paralyzed. Doctors attributed the previously healthy Zhang's sudden paralysis to his prolonged sitting in the same position, which severely restricted his blood circulation. The act of standing up too quickly after such a long period led to a significant oxygen deficiency in his brain, which was exacerbated by the bathroom's poor air quality. His father, Zhang Shuyun, recalled that the restroom in the workplace when he visited in the past had felt closed, cramped, and very stuffy. Not only did it not have an exhaust fan or a window, but there was also a washing machine with a water heater hanging on it, still dripping. Everyone felt that it was a little crowded. So, whether it's a scare from finding blood in your stool, a fall caused by numb legs, or feeling stifled like Zhang, remember that link.
Look, I only know one way to make money. I'm gonna have to give an old friend a call. Lester. I think he's in town somewhere. I'm gonna have to track him down. Hello. Is this still the number for Lester Crest?
Who's asking?
Who's asking? Who's asking?
You're awful cagey. Even for a dead man, Michael.
Ooh, you don't sound good, buddy.
Tactful and charming even in death. Hey, come see me, old friend. I'm living in Los Santos, just like you. Marietta Heights.
Whoa, wait. Hey, how do you... Hello? You fucker.
Is it unrealistic to want all...
I have to go to the bathroom again, so yeah. Well, my PlayStation PlayStation controls batteries full. It's like it's completely more than I expected in this fashion. Also, in this fashion, I can see like technically 2 or 3 things depending on how you see it. More than I expected because I'm planning. I like 3 minutes when this is done since I have a Duolingo streak of 121 days. I'm planning on waiting into like 11:56 p.m. Then I'm just going to do a Duolingo lesson. Then when it hits 12:01 a.m., I'm planning on doing another one, so that I can extend it from a 121-day streak to a 123-day streak, plus also have another week in a week streak done, and also start another one. So yeah, but I am doing more than I expected that I was going to do in this fashion. So I'm going to use this computer, which I really don't use that much for anything. And I'm going to add a Google account to it after I log out of this thing. So yeah. I don't know how to delete this account. I can't do the quick thing that quickly does the utilization. So all you is saying all data will be deleted. Utilize. So basically deactivating then utilizing. I well it does restart it, so this is probably like a probably 10-minute thing. But I'm not going to do a whole entire 7-hour thing. But like restarts the whole entire PlayStation and just removes basically everything because I already did that. once. This is my second time. I already did do with the thing. Oh, and I could just switch and watch TV on the so this TV you can connect a PlayStation to it or Xbox, but also it has it has a mainstream TV, so like KDK TV News, which is the kind of news channel that I have, and I can watch YouTube on it. So yeah, YouTube. So I'm going to watch 1 hour of YouTube probably on on this TV on the normal thing. As that starts, I would add a new Google account to my PlayStation. I mean to my to this computer that I have after I watch the 1 hour of YouTube on here. If YouTube will load, because right now it's not loading. YouTube.
Opening.
Maybe I should turn off the TV and turn it back on, because that just restarts the TV kind of. Or these bad TVs that I have. But first off, this is the cable box. Come on, cable box. Sometimes when you turn this TV off, it doesn't turn the cable box off. So we'll just turn the main TV off, but not the cable box. YouTube.
Opening.
So I'm going to watch YouTube on this mainstream TV for 30 minutes to an hour. Well, I have the PlayStation 3 started and I had a new Google account. So yeah.
Highway robbery is happening across Pennsylvania in Shapiro's land of broken promises.
You ever stare at a GTA character and think there's something off about them? Not just the 1,000-yard stare, not just the way pedestrians scream like opera singers when you sneeze on them, but deeper, like a secret buried under 5 layers of code. There are things hidden in these games. Tiny, forgotten pixels, unread emails, lines of dialogue, whispered once and never again, stuff Rockstar put in there just because they could. And you've been walking right past it for years. Welcome to a world of random GTA facts that you had no idea about, but by the end of this video, you will never look at Los Santos the same again. Let's start where the world began. GTA 3. Did you know, in the original version of the game, Claude can't swim? Okay, well, you definitely knew that, but here's what you didn't know. The devs didn't just leave water as a death trap for realists. They used it as a border, a code wall. Swimming meant you could break the game. Water wasn't water, it was a boundary. A silent bouncer telling you, no, you don't belong out there. And speaking of voids, in San Andreas, there's an interior universe, a hidden dimension that exists completely off the map. You access it by glitching into certain interiors, like Mad Dog's mansion or a burglary house. What you find? Floating rooms, gravity glitches, a skybox made of madness. It's called the Blue Hell, and it's like the devs left a tiny matrix behind, not for you to see, but just in case you did. Here's a fun one. In Vice City, one building literally has Easter egg written getting inside it. And I don't mean metaphorically. You fly a shotgun through a specific window, and boom, you find a chocolate egg sitting on a pedestal. It says Happy Easter. No joke, no reward, no mission, just vibes. Rockstar's basically trolling you. And it gets better. In GTA 4, if you head to Happiness Island, Liberty's own Statue of Liberty clone, you can actually go inside it, climb up the base, glitch through the doors, and there it is. A giant beating heart suspended by chains. No explanation, no lore drop, just a fleshy metaphor pumping away beneath a Statue of Freedom. It's like Rockstar was saying, the city is alive and it's not okay. You ever stop and actually listen to these characters? Like, really listen? Trevor, for example, has 1,200 lines of completely optional dialogue. Half of it triggers only if you idle, wonder, or switch to him at the wrong time.
You wouldn't believe this, Ron. One of these assholes is having a seizure or something.
Sometimes he's threatening squirrels, sometimes he's quoting poetry, sometimes he's crying, and here's the kicker. The more you kill with him, the darker his idle lines get, and it's like the game knows what kind of player you are, and it reflects that right back at you. GTA isn't just watching, it's judging. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but Trevor actually wears a calculator watch, which looks just like the one that Walter White wears in the Breaking Bad series.
Goddamn right.
I bet you didn't know this, but when your character gets drenched in GTA 5, their clothes take exactly 1 minute and 10 seconds to fully dry, no matter the outfit. Well, now you know. Okay, this might be one of the weirdest things you can do in GTA 5, but you can actually set Chop's poop on fire using a jerry can. Yes, it actually burns and disappears into ashes. Honestly, why would Rockstar even program this? It's bizarrely unnecessary, yet hilarious. I'm sure you know you can take selfies in GTA 5 using your phone, but did you know you can also take selfies doing cutscenes? Well, if you time it just right, your character will pull out their phone and snap a selfie while the cutscene is happening. You can take some weird looking photos with this. If you just had a conversation with a character and you try calling them back, they will remember that you just talked, and instead of the usual friendly banter, they will tell you to just hang up and stop bothering them.
Are you serious? We just hung out. You gotta get a life.
Okay, well, then back to playing with myself.
Hey, Frank, let's do something.
Hey, can you call me another time? We was just speaking.
No worries, man. I'll see you soon. Hey, homie, wanna hang out, man?
Hey, we was just talking, homie. You turning into one of them anterograde amnesiac niggas?
Okay, homie, some other time.
Some NPCs in GTA 5 actually wear glasses, and you know what's cool? When you punch or kick them, their glasses can actually come off. And no, they're too scared to pick them up afterwards, and they just start running for their lives as soon as they stand back up. Okay, this one is pretty gross, but when you've just killed some NPCs, you can actually perform a burnout over their dead body, and it will make the blood spray away from the spinning tires, creating this gruesomely detailed splatter effect. Here's a cheeky little fact for you. There are exactly 69 story missions in GTA 5. Yeah, Rockstar knew exactly what they were doing when they picked that number. We all know Lester is a huge tech geek, but he's also a superhero fan. Look around his house and we'll spot a small shelf full with superhero action figures. That green guy is supposed to be Master Chief, right? While snooping around Lester's place, you will also find a book titled Surveillance, and if you zoom in on it, you will see that it has CJ's picture on its front page. This one's both sad and hilarious. If you visit the memorial at the military base, it's supposed to honor fallen soldiers by listing their names. But if you zoom in, every single name is John Doe. Looks like Rockstar decided to save time with a single name, or John really gave his all for the country, apparently. You can actually park your car with the wheels still turned. While inside the car, hold down the handbrake and throttle together, and then turn the wheels slightly in the opposite direction of where you want them to stay. Now get out of the car without letting go of those buttons, and the wheels will snap the opposite direction you were turning and stay that way until you hop back in. I don't know what you're gonna do with that, but yeah. There's an NPC in GTA 5 you've probably never seen before, Jesco White, a guy who spends all his time tap dancing. You will find him at the foreclosed North Alamo Pier of North Calafia Way. He's dancing to the beat in front of a house with a portable radio playing in the background, and he doesn't stop as long as the music is going. But he isn't just a dancer. You can also listen to him on the radio by tuning into the Rebel radio station. When you're in a snowy area, you can pick up snowballs by pressing the left D-pad button on consoles or G on PC. They seem like harmless fun, but did you know snowballs in GTA 5 are surprisingly deadly? Well, they're considered throwable weapons, and while they don't really explode like nades, they can still kill NPCs. Throw around 10 snowballs at an NPC, and you will actually take them out, or you can knock them down.
So I just got that. Oh, damn it! I just turned the TV off. So I had to connect my PlayStation. So basically, the YouTube business. Oh, I thought it's like signs of your That's not how I felt like my own book. How did I do my own for the 505? So I got all that done. Yeah, I'm going to install these games. So yeah. Add it to downloads. Powered. So now I have two things downloaded on YouTube and an update for Grand Theft Auto 5. So in this live stream, I should be able to at least update most of GTA 5 and at least have good old YouTube downloaded. So yeah. Yeah, I'm sick, but I have to work. The stuff that I can. Hello. I made it down here. So I am saying I'm recording at least a few hours worth of content. But if I get finished before like having 5 hours of recorded content, I'll do my chill live stream before it's would be scheduled. And also, I do get creeped out when I'm in my basement down now alone. But The thing that I keep reminding myself is by the end of this live stream, it could be past half the night because at the end of the live stream it will be like 12:30, so like 9:30, 10:30, 11. No, it would be like 12:30 probably. Because well, no, like 12:40. It was somewhere like that. So the thing that I keep reminding myself is after this live stream, I'll be past half till tonight. Or I could just do my chill live stream directly after this. But I did make more progress than I expected. So yeah. Grand Theft Auto 5 is still updating. It says 6 hours left. It's probably not 6 hours left. But I did make more progress than I expected that I would. So yeah. But I do have to, I think I have to put in my YouTube account onto the PlayStation. So yeah. So basically, after this live stream, I'll be done with half the night, but not half the work that I have to do tonight. Because I still have to live stream. Well, I'll not be done with half the work that I have to do today. Because after this live stream, I still have to do 2 more live streams. A chill live stream, and also one Air 5 Sebastian Storm's live stream. Then also, I still have to record about in 2 hours of content and 6 hours of content. So yeah. Unless somehow I finish half the work that I have to do tonight in this live stream, which I probably won't. I'll definitely not. So now, I'm going to extend my 121-day streak on Duolingo. Then I'll do it again after.
Drop it! She's gonna hurt me at some point.
Hi babies, don't say nothing, okay? Don't tell them anything. Don't answer any questions.
Every child deserves a caring mother. But what happens if the mother turns out to be straight up evil, setting the worst example possible for her children? Here are 10 mothers who had to face the consequences of their actions, starting with a mother who escalated a situation involving her criminal children. On August 3rd, 2022, Cassidy was seen aggressively waving around a metal wrench. She was trying to protect her teenage daughter, who had just robbed another teenager on the street together with her brother and another friend.
Drop it! Drop it! Drop it! Drop it, Yankees! Drop it! Drop it! Back up! Back up! Back up! Last warning! Last warning! Back up! Back up! Back up! Back up! If you tell us to drop it, drop it. But listen to commands. Okay. If he tells you to drop it, you drop it. You guys have to listen. Well, that's too bad. That's what happens. On you guys. Sure, for not listening, right? Because you're not an adult and you can't listen. They had a weapon in my daughter's face. That's why I got the weapon out. That's my mom. I just tried to protect my daughter. What's going on, Mom?
trying to swing, I have everything on video.
Okay.
And I'm telling her, like, look at yourself, man. Nobody's even talking to your kid. There's two little kids that they actually tried, since I'm recording, they snapped the phone out of me. So they slapped my hands twice. One, the black guy that actually jumped my side, and another little boy. And they're those two jumped my side.
So the black dude hit her.
No, they did three of them. They like did this and started messing with me. They took my chain, my phone, my shoes. They wanted to use it all. They got my stuff. But I also had a big. My friends don't know my big. So I don't know. But they had my big now.
You know the robbed kid is telling the truth when he apologizes and confesses to his parents that his vape was also stolen. I mean, come on, breathe air, little fella. Meanwhile, the children of Cassidy feel like absolute badasses.
Win one championship, you're celebrated. Win twice.
From suddenly saying goodbye during a live stream,
I'm gonna go offline. I guess I'll try to find something to watch for a tiny bit before I pass out.
to saying farewell after being silenced for exposing the government.
If you're watching this, I'm in prison.
Here are the times that 6 YouTubers were forced to say goodbye, starting with the most unexpected. Wreckful, real name Byron Bernstein, who was one of the most famous World of Warcraft streamers.
Wait, can I make my character look cooler? I look dumb as fuck.
Yeah, you look harder. We'll get to that.
But behind his lively, fun-loving personality, he was struggling internally, which he shared with internet therapist Dr. K on December 4th, 2019.
I've dealt with depression my whole life, pretty much. I mean, since I was like 14. And I'm 30 now. I've been diagnosed with bipolar type 2. When I was 6, my brother himself, he also had it.
So tell me what your experience of depression is.
The easiest way to explain is I've had years of my life like this where I wake up every day and I don't see a purpose to doing anything.
Though he talked about his struggles, it was clear from his live stream 6 months later that things weren't getting better.
Should I get us out of here? Maybe the trick is that I need to get to the next part. There's another game. Should I risk it and find out?
The next day, however, on July 2nd, 2020, he posted 2 concerning tweets. I feel bad for anyone who has to deal with my insanity. Please just know in these situations, the insane person does not feel in control of their actions. Soon after, his name was all over the headlines, devastating many fans. This absolutely breaks my heart. My day and probably my entire week is ruined. I've followed Byron since the very beginning, including most of his struggles, and this truly effing sucks. I'm beyond words.
I just want you all to know that I have never met a person on Twitch that has ever, like, I've had some of the most memorable moments of my life with Byron.
And his girlfriend Becca, to whom he proposed before posting his final tweets. I didn't see the proposal until it was too late. That doesn't change the fact that I wasn't able to be there for him. Even Dr. K was destroyed, reminding those struggling like Byron to seek help.
It's a personal battle and all of us have to fight it. But you have to fight it, but you don't have to fight it alone.
But if Byron decided to end his life because of his mental struggles, Daryl Leave had no choice but to face his due to an unforgiving condition. On July 8th, 2020, Daryl posted his first ever YouTube video sharing his cancer journey following his diagnosis in late 2019.
I have a stage 4 colon cancer. I do believe that this will be right, and I've been stage 4. Very few people get that sorted. And so it's just a matter of time.
Nevertheless, Daryl kept fighting, updating his fans with each new video.
I'm currently getting immunotherapy, chemotherapy, and I am about to get radiation therapy as well.
2 years later, after his first video, on November 2nd, 2022, his 9th cancer journey video was uploaded, revealing the result of his battle.
Just to let you know that maybe today I actually passed away, so I'm no longer here. All right. Thanks for sticking with me through my journey. Thanks, for all those who have been part of my life. Good or bad, hey, take the good, take the bad, take the ugly. It's life, So, thank you.
Even with the heartbreaking news, people praised the YouTuber for his bravery. The balls of steel on this man. This guy knew what was coming and he was prepared for it. No panicking. He explained everything very calmly. What a strong man. This man is discussing his end and his final days with more composure than most people would have complaining about waiting in line to buy coffee at a Starbucks. But while Daryl's sad goodbye followed after a 3-year fight for his life, David's farewell was the result of something far more controversial. In 2017, the Afghan Files was released, which exposed what Australian troops did to innocent Afghans, and it was all because of David McBride, a former army lawyer who leaked the confidential military documents to a broadcast company. Yet this led to him being charged, prompting him to share his story on YouTube.
Now I'm a whistleblower, fighting for my life in the Australian courts. If you are complaining about major wrongdoing in an Australian government department, they don't roll over. You become the enemy.
Many people sided with him. Everyone loves a whistleblower until it happens, and then it's race to ass cover and obscure the truth. Thank you very much, David, for your moral courage and continuing service to Australia. But the court did not.
If you're watching this, I'm in prison. Again, all I can do is thank the supporters. I'm not going to complain. I went into this with my eyes open. I need to go to prison in order to fix this country. We need to look at how this country can pretend that I'm a national security threat when there are so many other things wrong with it. So much bribery, so much corruption, even war criminals that haven't been in jail. I will sit in jail. I will get stronger in jail. We will build our forces. Plenty of people down through the ages have been in jail and have come out stronger, so don't worry about me.
I'm not Australian, but my country does this crap too. Exposing crimes should not be a crime. Imprison the real criminals. Despite this, David's 5-year sentence makes his goodbye a temporary kind, unlike Paul Harrell, whose farewell ended in something heartbreakingly permanent. Paul was best known for his educational content about firearms.
Shotguns at close range can be very effective.
On July 16th, 2023, however, he made a heartbreaking announcement.
I was recently diagnosed with pancreatic cancer.
Fans immediately showed support. I hope you beat cancer, Paul. We're all rooting for you, man. While getting treatments, Paul continued posting videos and educating fans. Then, half a year after his diagnosis, he gave an update about his condition and the channel's future.
The time I have left to continue making content in this format has become very short. As I've mentioned before, a couple of the crew are going to try to continue putting out content. The primary person behind that will be my brother, Roy.
8 months after finally hitting 1 million subscribers, he uploaded his final video, which was pre-recorded, confirming what many had come to expect.
So if you're watching me, I'm dead. The final thing I would want to say is my sincere apologies. I had hoped that I would continue in this format for the next 10 or even 15 years. And even once I was diagnosed, I had hoped that we'd be here 2 or 3 more years. It's turned out to be only a few more months.
I cannot believe he apologized to us for dying. What a humble man. The cancer got his body, but it never took his spirit. Even Hickok45, another famous firearms YouTuber, paid his respects.
So farewell, Paul. Even though I'm not what you call a professional, I hope to see you sometime out there in the cosmos, maybe that big shooting range in the sky.
Now, after Paul's passing, his brother will continue his YouTube legacy, just as Linja has someone close to her to keep her remembered. Cooking with Linja, real name Lynn Yamada Davis, a retired systems engineer, became the internet's grandma because of her funny cooking videos.
Fry that ting till it's crusty. 2 eggs, salt and pepper, and scramble. Cook till nice and yellow, and add that American cheese.
But on May 18th, 2021, in her video titled Cookies for Cancer, she opened up about 2 health conditions that she had dealt with.
The bad news is, back in 2019, I was diagnosed with throat cancer. It changed my voice, and that's why I think I sound like Marge, Mabel, and Toad.
Last day of radiation. How do you feel?
I feel great. I'm so excited.
You look great, Mom.
In 2021, I was diagnosed with esophageal cancer, but the good news is I just finished my cancer treatment.
She then continued making videos, leading her to win Best Editing in the YouTube Streamies Award a year and a half later.
Nuts.com is a snacking utopia. We have supplier relationships from all over the world. I actually don't speak a lot of other.
I'm so thrilled. This is the best thing ever. I'm so excited. Thank you. you so much, everyone.
But on August 8th, 2023, Linja's son, Tim, who had been helping her make the videos, announced that his mom had to undergo a new treatment.
And the new chemo medication, unfortunately, is causing her to lose her hair. So, in support, I'm buzzing off my fluff. I shaved my hair.
Oh, honey.
Only to return on New Year's Day, 2024, to update fans with the results.
I'm super sad to inform you that, unfortunately, Linja, my mom, has passed away. Her final moments were super peaceful, and thankfully she was surrounded by the people she loved most, her friends and family.
Fans and other content creators honored Linja's memory. R.I.P. Linja, there was never a dull moment with her. She was always full of spirit and such an amazing person.
You're just so special, and you bring the joy to every room you go into, and anyone I ever come in contact with that knows you says you're just the best.
She will forever be an inspiration to us all, and we should all feel so lucky that we got to share a small piece of her life with her. She might be gone, but her videos will live on forever.
According to Linja's son, he will continue posting her unreleased videos until the last one is shared, making sure that her memory lives on following her passing. Much like the respect shown to Brian Barzik's legacy, with his family stepping in to keep his vision alive. Brian Barzik, with over 5 million subscribers, was best known as YouTube's reptile expert.
You see right there? I'm just going to very gently massage that out, kind of going around like this. And you can see it came right out, no problem whatsoever.
Unfortunately, on March 5th, 2023, he revealed he had a serious illness.
Here it is. It's not good. It's pancreatic cancer. For anyone that knows about cancers, they'll know that that's not a good one to have. But listen, it's best case scenario, it's typically about 10% success rate. But I've beat the odds many times in my life. And so I'm believing I'm going to be in that 10%.
After a few months of chemotherapy, he updated his fans about the condition.
The tumor in my pancreas is growing again, which is not good, obviously. But more importantly, I have a few tumors now in my liver.
Nevertheless, Brian remained motivated to build his legacy aquarium project, excited to be at the opening.
You're going to actually see the stingray tank over here, the archer tank here, the 40-foot wall of really colorful green fish over here.
But on January 5th, 2024, he posted his final video.
I hope I inspired you guys that, we closely built the Legacy Aquarium. Listen, I wanted to be there greeting you guys at the open. That's all I dreamt of. But I'm unfortunately gonna tell you that that's not gonna happen. I go tomorrow, actually. I go into hospice, which means that I don't have long to go after that, but don't worry about me.
Fans and friends in sorrow. I'm crying my eyes out right now. I grew up watching you. You got me into reptiles as a kid. I got my first snake all because of you. The joy you brought all of us watching over these amazing years will never be forgotten, and your legacy will always shine bright. After his passing, his family took over the Reptera.
Help. Someone wants me to kill my deer.
Shot to kill, never kill anybody, right?
Google still tracks you in incognito mode. Use DuckDuckGo, a real private browser.
September 17th, 2013. 8 days prior to my 17th birthday, GTA 5 gets released to critical acclaim. After what felt like an eternity of waiting, Rockstar Games dropped what is now considered the most profitable video game ever made. Looking back at it now, it is kind of funny how Rockstar has more than doubled the waiting time for newer games. If only we knew how good we had it back then. Which coincidentally brings me to Steven Ogg. Upon the game's release, Steven, Ned, and Solo instantly became superstars in the gaming industry. Fans would flock over to them on the streets. Big crowds would gather to see them at signings. They had some of the most interesting and funny Q&A panels at any event, and it seemed like all three of them loved.
Well, I'm going to get to the bathroom soon, yeah?
Loved every minute of it.
For fighting Yahtzee accusations,
They literally said that the fact that I use Adolf Hitler and the fact that I use the imagery, that's bad enough.
To being called a rapist.
This makes me sound like a monster, and if it did happen, I would be a monster. But this isn't how it happened. What did happen was...
Here are 8 YouTubers who had to fight off false accusations. Starting with YouTube street interviewer Jimmy Zhang, who in July 2024 would be accused by cosplayer Laurel of filming her and her girlfriend Anne without their consent. Despite Jimmy's reputation as one of the nicest and most respectful content creators on the platform, Laurel would accuse him of making inappropriate comments about her girlfriend's body.
Tall shorty with a fat O.
And then filming the couple despite both Laurel and Anne saying no multiple times, which he allegedly edited out. Many immediately condemned Jimmy. It's predatory, disrespectful, and downright disgusting. But on July 16th, 2024, the YouTuber would pull out the receipts.
That's not even my type.
Tall woman with big ass. JJK.
That's his type. And plus it was a JJK quote. If anything, you could really say I was just paraphrasing a fictional quote.
But the most serious part was when Jimmy played the unedited footage for all to see.
So as long as it's nothing sexual or weird, absolutely ask what. Yeah. What's up, guys?
Where did they say no multiple times? And just how f***ed up it is to falsely accuse someone of doing such things that they didn't do.
Following this cold hard evidence, the public's perception immediately shifted. It takes one person lying to mess up an entire career, making Laura delete her original post and turn off comments on all socials in a desperate attempt to mitigate backlash. But while Jimmy luckily had video proof of his innocence, the accusations are only going to get worse. Like with PewDiePie, who got accused of being a Yahtzee sympathizer on February 14th, 2017. These accusations came after the king of YouTube jokingly paid 2 Indian guys to record a video with an anti-Semitic sign.
Subscribe to Kingston.
I don't feel good. I don't feel too proud of this. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not anti-Semitic or whatever it's called. Okay, so don't get the wrong idea.
But while his audience believed he meant no harm, the Wall Street Journal didn't see things that way. And just 2 days later, PewDiePie would upload his first video addressing the allegations.
So, Wall Street Journal, a well-known, respected news outlet, posted that I, during the past 6 months, have made 9 videos that have anti-Semitic messaging in it. They used even me pointing my arm like this. Technically, they can use this as evidence as well, because that's what they did. I'm not joking. The Wall Street Journal did this. It's the most absurd thing I've ever heard.
Despite PewDiePie pointing out how baseless the accusations were, the media would double down on their position, prompting a second grim video from the YouTuber a week later.
May I just say that if you're going to call someone a hero to the Nazis, you may want to double check if that's true or not, because afterwards you can't go, lol, just kidding. But the way the Wall Street Journal defended this was that the websites were supporting me, calling it the #1 PewDiePie fan site, which I obviously had no idea about. I don't, believe it or not, I don't go to neo-Nazi websites.
But upon visiting the website in question, PewDiePie would discover something that would finally make the media back down for good.
It turns out the neo-Nazi website have changed their mind. Right now, they are the #1 Wall Street Journal fan site. Interesting. I don't believe Wall Street Journal has made a statement condemning these websites. So they must be a Nazi-supporting website now.
KFC chicken and waffles look good, especially when $25 gets you enough to share with friends.
In the novel Catch-22, there's a figure, I can't remember his name, he's worried that his life is passing by too quickly.
His point proven, PewDiePie would return to his normal content creation schedule, although the experience did leave its mark on the creator, permanently affecting his relationship with Disney and YouTube. However, as bad as PewDiePie's false accusations were, they don't compare to the gaming YouTuber, SVB, who on August 11th, 2022, would get accused by Twitter user Nia of being a child predator. This came as a massive shock to Overwatch's community, as the player was known to be quite vocal about women's mistreatment.
Female gamers are consistently the target of a specific set of attacks and comments, and each of them are their own form of malicious. I wanted to start by spelling out what these are and why they're so alarming.
But in complete contrast to his behavior in front of his audience,
$11. Great, we did this. So basically, just to recap on what happened in this live stream, I I added a new Google account onto my other computer. I got a new PlayStation account, and also I got Minecraft, Police Simulator, YouTube, and Grand Theft Auto 5 just installed on my PlayStation. So yeah, and by the end of this live stream, Minecraft should be fully installed with it copying onto my PlayStation. And if there's an update, it would also have some progress on the update, or at least I think. Because right now it says 60 seconds left, 30 minutes, and this live stream will probably end in like 2 minutes. So yeah. And I have to start putting a lot of work tonight. This is just the beginning of a lot of stuff, since I already got I got a lot of stuff done in this live stream, but I still have to record like 20 YouTube videos after this live stream. Oh, Minecraft doesn't have to update, but I'm ejecting the disk. Oh, added to downloads, Minecraft version 3.11. So it did actually have something. So basically, 3 things are updating on my PlayStation right now. So yeah. But that's going to be the end of this live stream, and bye.